First of all, I want to explain that I don't have any relationship with Michael Portillo. I don't know him. He is a very common man in the north of Spain. Anyway, I want to explain how the anti-evictions movement have developed since 2009 in Spain, and how the anti-evictions movement in Spain have learned to win and have learned to stop the evictions. Well, first of all, I want to explain that the situation in Spain is really, really hard. There are about 550 evictions per day, and since 2008 there have been evicted more than 170,000 people, and there are also 400,000 evictions in process. So, due to this hard situation, the people have the need to defend their own right to home, because there have been a lot of evictions and the situation is really hard. So in 2009 were born the first platform affected by mortgage, because in Spain there is only 6% of the people living in renting flats. The rest of the population is living on houses with mortgages, and now the problem is that the salaries and wages have been cut since the 70s. People is losing money, and at the same time the price of housing has increased more than 2,000%. So we learned from the Occupy movement that the Occupy movement during 2012 they have started to stop evictions and to organize the movement against the evictions. So in front of this situation happened the wonderful movement, Indignados movement, and there were huge demonstrations and huge occupations of the main squares in all the country. Thanks to that, the anti-evictions movement extends all around the country. In fact, currently there are more than 130 platforms in the main cities of Spain, and there have been stopped 615 evictions since 2009. We couldn't believe, we have any confidence in ourselves. We thought that it was impossible to stop an eviction, but we could stop the first eviction, the second eviction, the third eviction, the fifth, and until the 600 evictions. So it proved that it's possible to fight, to stop the eviction and to win. And the anti-evictions movement, that in Spain is called the Platform of Affected by the Mortgage, not only has stopped evictions, also has occupied buildings, empty buildings for the evicted family. In fact, there are more than 40 flats, empty flats, that have been occupied since last February. And I think these processes will be increasing, and there will be more occupations. And these occupations are going to be permanent. So I want to show that not only the anti-evictions movement have done three things mainly: have stopped evictions, has occupied empty buildings, and also has promoted a law that fights a law against the mortgage. Because one of the major problem is that people cannot afford the mortgage, and workers' families have mortgages of 5,000, 50,000 euros or 100,000 euros, and they cannot pay because they are unemployed. They have been fired from work, and the banks use the police to expel them from their houses. But the people who goes to the bank and tries to speak with the bankers became lied, and the bankers give them more loans, and they became in a worse situation before to go to the bank. So the anti-evictions movement shows a very positive experience because organized the people against the banks, and the people gets confidence in himself in order to stop the eviction and to defend their own right. But not only people is fighting for their own right to a house, but also is fighting for the universal access to housing. And now in Spain, one of the one of the strongest movements in Spain is the anti-evictions movement, and everybody, the unions, the work centers, the most mobilized sectors wants to copy the methods of the PAP because it's achieving success and is cutting the profits and stopping the neoliberal and the austerity attacks. And at last, I want to point out that it has been very positive, this experience, and it has been used in other sectors of public sector in order to stop cut wages and in order to avoid that workers are fired. And it's very positive because it means that the working class can defend himself from the attacks and that can occupy and obtain their own right to housing.